Hello and welcome to Tarotspeaks. This is your April 2018 self-love reading for Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. We'll be looking at your overall energies as well as yourself, what you're drawing into yourself, your thoughts, your heart space, your communications, what will help you move forward, and what may be holding you back during this time. Our overall energies is detach. You are releasing old patterns and ideas that no longer serve your highest ideals of love. What I'm getting from this card, I've been sitting with these cards for a while, and what I get from them or from this particular card is allowing ourselves to let go of situations and people that no longer serve our highest good. This may not mean this may mean letting people go for good or just temporarily separating ourselves from situations that aren't um motivating or feeding our souls or feeding our spirits and making us have that sense of self-worth. So, in terms of your thoughts, we have present. You live in the moment and are able to bring forth the energy of love in your current circumstances. So, with this card, what are you thinking of during this time? What thoughts have you held on to that you need to detach from that haven't allowed you to grow or to change situations that you see in your present environment within yourself, within other people? What situations do you need to detach from or let go of that's not feeding you in the sense of your personal growth in the direction that you want to go in? This reminds me of, you know, seeing or feeling the energy in a certain space or in a certain person or just in a certain place in general, and knowing whether it's helping or hindering you. In terms of your communications, we have action. You have the courage to express the unique loving colors of your soul. So, as we begin to detach from situations that no longer serve us, whether it be people, whether it be our own thought processes, our own emotions, whatever it is, the action of how we communicate, what we communicate, it will be reflected from the thoughts we are having in the now. So, what I get from that in terms of Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, this is a time in which during the month of April, you may find yourself detaching yourself physically or even mentally from situations because it's not conducive to where you are going or moving forward towards. So, whatever it is that you're working on, whatever it is that you're involved in, or whoever you're involved with, you're going to find yourself detaching from situations because not because you don't love the people, you don't love the situation, but because it's not conducive to what it is that you want moving forward, the actions you want to take moving forward. In your present moment, we understand that circumstances around us can greatly affect our inner world. And we're talking about self love. So we want the actions that we give out to others to be a reflection of the love we have for ourselves. So this may mean detaching from situations or people, even temporarily, separating ourselves from groups or separating ourselves from the environment we may find ourselves in, even if it's just to meditate or to pray or to just to regain or refocus our thoughts and to remain present within ourselves in terms of our wholeness, keeping ourselves whole. Once we've detached from something and allowed that energy to leave us, not allowing it to re enter through the actions or the words of others. Um, The next card we have is compassion. This is in your heart space. You demonstrate the language of the heart by actively sharing and living love. So once you've detached from certain beliefs, certain situations that aren't serving you, it'll be a renewing of how you can show compassion from your heart space, because you have built that up in your own present mind, in your own present self, taking those actions necessary in order to detach from the negativity, from the negative situations, whether it's a job, whether it's a person. We're talking about self-love, and sometimes um, detaching is a way of showing our own self love, our own self worth. So, what we're bringing into ourselves is respect. You have everyone's unique perspective. You value everyone's unique perspective on the path to love. So, like I said, when you're detaching, it's not necessarily detaching completely from people, it's maybe separating yourself, understanding that you can't change another person, that you can't change how they behave, how they react to things, or how they are projecting themselves onto you. It's having a sense of respect for yourself that allows other people to be who they are, but remaining detached from the emotions and feelings and outcomes that may come at you from other people. So this shows other people will begin to reflect that. So what you're bringing into yourself is a sense of respecting your own boundaries as well as respecting the boundaries of others. In terms of what you're showing the world, we have virtue. You acknowledge your loving spiritual attributes that encourage others to grow. So, like I said, or like I will say, when we respect the fact that we can't change another person and we can't change, this circumstance. Now, in some instances, you can change certain circumstances to fit your values and your ideas. But most of the time, when we're dealing with other people in situations, we're unable to change that person. We can change their perspective for that moment, but you can't change how they act, how they respond to certain situations and things. So, in terms of what you're showing the world, when you detach from certain groups, when you detach from certain feelings, when you detach from allowing yourself to um, connect on a level that is toxic for yourself, you're showing the other person, you're showing yourself even your own virtue, and you're allowing other people, as the card says, to grow in a way where when they are around you, or when they're in your presence, or wherever environment you're in, kind of shifts into what it is that is in alignment with you. So, in respecting the boundaries of others as well as our own boundaries, and detaching from that feeling of having to participate in situations that no longer serve us, we're showing our own value, our own self love, our own self worth. I'm reminded as a child, as when, you know, you not you, but me, what I'm being reminded of right now. As a child, I'd have friends, and um, they have their own things going on, and they get into certain activities. But when it came down to me, when they knew my way of doing things wasn't the same as theirs, so when they got to doing certain things, they'd separate themselves. And you wonder, well, why, or I'd wonder, why did this person separate themselves? Why didn't they invite me to go? Why didn't they invite me into this situation? But it's like, a lot of times we're being protected from situations that aren't good for our self-worth, that isn't good for our growth. So those people will even detach themselves because they know that you don't fit into the mold that they are that they have, or that they have created, or the environment in which they are going. So, in terms of what may be holding you back, we have tolerance. You appreciate others' points of view because you sense the love in everyone. Tolerance is about tolerance. Um, like I said before, accepting other people for who they are, but don't allow yourself to be so tolerant of another person that you are tolerating bad behavior, negativity, anything that brings you down, drags you down because you're trying to help another person. This reminds me, or is reminding us that, sometimes trying to help another person will bring you down a notch. If you have to detach yourself and what you have within yourself to offer from the other person's energy. So it's like, if your energy is negative and all you can speak is negativity, and then all you manifest is negativity. So it's like actions and reactions. So with tolerance is reminding you not to allow other people's negative actions, negative self-talk, negative ways of being to latch on to you. So that's why we have the overall energy this month of detachment, because we're trying to come to a place of peace, a place of self-worth, a place of self-love. And in order to maintain that, we must detach our feelings and our beliefs and our way of being from another's, and not take on that energy from that person. So in terms of what will help you move forward, we have unity. You understand that the love shared with another is amplified and has a ripple effect across the universe. So, like I said before, attaching yourself to other people or getting involved in other people's drama, other people's situations, and taking it with you, um, you're being asked to detach from that. With unity, yes, we come together with other people, but when we begin to detach from certain ways of being, certain ideas, certain anything that doesn't serve us, what we want or what we are cultivating within ourselves begin to gravitate towards us, and the things that we don't want begin to move away. So during this month, if you feel like there's a sense of detachment in situations, whether this is relationship or friendship, understand that that detachment is your protection. It is your job as well to respect the boundaries of others, and also to respect yourself enough to detach from situations that aren't serving you and to be in the present moment. So if you are in situations where there's conflict or there's chaos, then you have to remain balanced within yourself and detach yourself from the emotions or the outside environment in order to be able to respect others' boundaries, have compassion for yourself so you don't bring your energy down, and also be able to connect with other people, whether it's to help them or to let them go so that they can figure out what it is that they need in order to come out of that lower vibrational energy. So during this month, what we're asked to do is to be in the present moment and understand how the environment is affecting us on an emotional level, on a spiritual level, even on a physical level, and be able to detach your feelings from the feelings of others, from the emotions of others, and understand what's yours and what's another person's, and how the environment around you is affecting your sense of self-love, self-worth. Like I said, with respect and virtue, respecting the boundaries of others, respecting our own boundaries, and showing our virtue by not allowing ourselves to be in situations that do not serve our highest good, not allowing ourselves to tolerate things or tolerate coming together with people or situations that bring us a sense of low energy or lowers our energy. communicating when, even in your own household, communicating with people, whether you want to, it's like being able to communicate what type of peace you want in your environment, what type of environment you want to be in. And when you get that understanding with another person or in the situation, what type of actions you want to see happening around you, and detach from those old ideas, those old ways of doing things, then your self-love or your sense of virtue is shown to other people, and they respect your views, you respect their views, but you're also able to detach from the things that aren't conducive to your self-love and your self-growth. So I'm going to pick 3 cards, one for Capricorn, one for Taurus, and one for Virgo, and let's see what the messages are. For self-love for the month of April for Capricorn, with unconditional love and guidance for Capricorn for the month of April, we have prayer. Sorry about the light. The light went out. So prayer is about what it says. Prayer, taking time, like I said before, to detach from situations in order to, like I said, even if you have to go off into a corner somewhere just to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with spirit, reconnect with your own emotions and how you feel, and not so that you can block out the toxins from other people and other situations when things get a little bit too chaotic. Prayer will be necessary during the month of April to help you detach, to help you to show other people how it is that, and it's not even to tell them. You don't even necessarily have to tell other people, how you want things. A lot of times your action of detaching yourself from certain situations will show other people what it is you are willing to be involved in, and what it is you will not be willing to be involved in. So for Taurus, for the month of April 2018, with unconditional love and guidance, self-love for Taurus, with unconditional love and guidance, we have instinct. So using your intuition, knowing when a situation is good for you, knowing when you need to detach yourself and move on to something else. Like I said before, it's not necessarily a complete detachment where you never talk to that person again or you never go to that place again. It's knowing when the toxic situation is you. Is it coming from you? Is it just the way you're feeling, or is it the way another person is feeling? And looking forward towards the future in terms of not looking back on situations that may have caused you to feel a certain type of way, in terms of your sadnesses or in things of that nature. Because with self-love, we are talking about detachment during this time. So it's also detaching those old negative thoughts, those old negative ways of communicating to ourselves. So this is going to take our instincts. This is going to take us understanding what it means to use affirmations, is what I'm getting. Affirmations, self-affirmations, knowing you are worthy, knowing you are healthy, knowing that you have the wealth, the prosperity, and the things that you need, and that you don't need those outside forces in order to be whole within yourself. So for Virgo, for the month of April 2018, with unconditional love and guidance for Virgo for the month of April 2018. Self-love for Virgo for the month of April 2018. We have growth. So for Virgo, during the month of April, this sense of detachment is going to show you ways in which you have grown out of certain situations or grown out of certain relationships. It's going to show you how much you have grown, what areas you have grown in, and how you can maintain that growth through the detachment phase. Understanding also, Virgo, that some situations may have to end in order for a new situation, or for new situations to have the room to grow. It's like having a plant that overgrown in one has overgrown in one spot, and it takes over the area, so you have to move the other plants around so that it doesn't choke the life out of the other plants. So your growth is going to sort of be like that, having to move yourself out of situations because you've outgrown that situation, you've outgrown those people, you've outgrown that connection. So detachment is going to be part of your growth process. And for all three signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, at the bottom of the deck, we have gratitude, being grateful for the connections we do have during this time with the people who are growing with us, and the people who are drawn to us through our own growth, through the growth we've experienced, through our ability to detach from certain situations. There will be people, like I said, who are drawn to that, who are drawn in like-mindedness in terms of what it is they will accept and won't accept. And you will find yourself in the midst of people who are in alignment with the direction you are taking. So be grateful for the connections you do have at this time, because if they are here, or if they maintain that energy space in which you are looking for, or that energy space in which you have, it will be, whatever energy you are in is going to be reflected back to you. So be grateful for those connections. I hope these messages were helpful to you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below. Let me know how these videos resonated for you. And thank you so much for watching.